Dr. Jen, I wanted to share before we discuss, more the medical side of this that, we both as children experience trauma, cPTSD and have somatic pain. And so we're talking about, we also experience. So there's absolutely no judgment here. We understand the struggle of feeling frustrated, going through the same thing over and over again, not understanding what's happening, feeling ashamed of some of your behaviors and stuff like that. And, I think for me, I was diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder, and it was interesting when you were talking about the fight or flight or the different symptoms, because I find that for me, what happens is for a lot of my life, I was very reactive. When things would happen, it would become explosive. I didn't understand why. I would just get so floored, and the reaction was so strong. And it was living between that or just a constant hypervigilance, a constant thinking about all the different ways that there's some negative outcome of some situation for myself, or all the different things to be worried about. And it was just exhausting. And I spent a lot of my life doing a lot of the things that can help it naturally, because the conventional medical world was not very supportive for me. And that helped a lot. But, like, I had kids, and we live in a world that is very aggressive on our nervous systems. And my nervous system was just always shot. And so our journeys is what led us to creating this product and into this conversation right now. And so I just wanted to turn over to Dr. J if there's, anything that you want to share about your journey with this.
Yeah, my journey, started, my mom always says I was born anxious and with insomnia just right out the womb. When my mom was pregnant with me, there was already issues going on in my family. So there was a lot of stress hormones that I was getting in utero from my mother. And my childhood was very chaotic, I would say. I grew up in a loving household, but there was a lot of chaos. My father struggles with severe mental illness and substance use disorder, addiction. I have 4 ACEs, or adverse childhood events, which is very clinically significant. So my childhood was just a lot of chaos, uncertainty, and lack of feeling safe, or like the next shoe is always going to drop. When things were going well, there was a lot of anxiety about, well, when is it not going to be going well? So that ultimately for me led to a series of things that I did to sort of perpetuate the issue, trying to sort of save my father and rewrite the scripts of my childhood, gain acceptance from people who reminded me of some of the people who triggered the initial trauma when I was growing up. It also led to a period of self-medication, using substances when I was young, acting out. I was misdiagnosed with many different psychiatric conditions, and generally the treatments only worsened or at best numbed the symptoms. For me, it also eventually presented as a lot of caretaking of other people and kind of a martyr syndrome. Again, always trying to save people because I couldn't save my dad, essentially. And eventually, these unhealthy relationships culminated in a long-term emotionally abusive relationship that was extremely challenging for me to leave. And I didn't understand why I couldn't leave. I felt trapped in my body. I felt trapped in my mind. I felt trapped in my situation, like nothing could ever get better. And I didn't understand, because I'm generally a very strong and resilient person. I couldn't understand why I was trapped. Physiologically, it presented in my nervous system as things like chronic migraines, repeated episodes of sciatica, autoimmune conditions, chronic digestive issues. So it definitely showed up in my body as well, with somatic pain and nervous system dysregulation. And it took a really long time to finally get the right diagnosis and the right treatment. And treatment for cPTSD in general is still very poorly misunderstood by the medical community. And so treatments can be challenging. They can also force us to face triggers or get into the trauma, and that can be really challenging to talk about it and relive it and rehash it all the time. But the proper treatment is really important. And again, our motivation behind creating Calm and Uplifted in particular was to give people something that they could use as part of their daily routine to modulate the nervous system, modulate the stress response, and it's like a deep exhale of the nervous system to just come back into balance, feel safe, feel calm, feel mentally clear and able to focus by giving some space from the challenging triggers or circumstances that can come up in day-to-day living.
Yeah. So instead of a negative snowball, create a positive snowball.
Exactly. Yeah. And it kind of re-empowered me to, again, take the power back and take control back and to do what I needed to do to heal at a very deep level.
Yeah. I think that's how I experience it too, where sometimes things can just feel very out of control and you just feel very overwhelmed and it's impossible to make any progress from there. So it's just, and this was our intention with creating it, something to take the edge off that is natural and supporting the root cause, not sedating you, helping you holistically with other things that support that, like stress and pain in your body, that then gives you that space to do that work that will allow you to release the thing that's causing it. Thanks for allowing us to share. We're going to share more about the root cause solutions here next.